Gather, Arrange, Maintain is a focus survey drawn from 30 years of work by Elmira-based artist Jane Byers. Byers is one of this region's most recognizable artists. For years, she taught at the University of Waterloo in the Fine Arts Department. Her exhibition here at the gallery is one of several that have occurred in the last decade where we have worked closely with profs at the University of Waterloo who have served as mentors for future generations. Consistently moving between a range of approaches including drawing, sculpture, and printmaking, Byers has mind process, inquiry, and investigation as major parts of her practice. In Inscriptions, Byers offers a series of porcelain books laid open to reveal a lush botanical growth in lieu of text, whereas the recent Book of Hours drawings feature hundreds of methodically redrawn floral images, each sourced from disparate textiles. For Byers, labor is an intimate, focused attention, which is conveyed through repetition at a slow pace, with each porcelain page or drawn flower gradually providing a step towards a more physically substantial form. And yet these works also articulate a sense of tension between utility and decoration, the organic and the artificial, and permanence and ephemerality. In Byers' hands, the search for a synthesis out of opposing forces and juxtapositions expresses a desire to be connected, to make order, and to find meaning in our surroundings.
This exhibition presents a selection of work that's a survey of things that I've done over the past 30 years. The earliest work is from 1982, and the most recent work was just completed towards the end of 2012. I do make objects and images that are recognizable, but they're not of people, they're of things. As a student, when I went to art school, the primary aesthetic in both the art world and with the majority of my studio instructors was what's generally referred to as minimalism. The basic ideas of minimalism was there was an insistence on process, on the actual physical process of making work, and a heavy emphasis on materiality, and that becomes a big part of what the work is about. And this work was all, generally speaking, abstract. I was very attracted to the idea of process, and I'm very much interested in this idea of the physicality and characteristics of different materials. But I was not attracted or motivated by the idea of making abstract art. I wanted the work that I made to have some connection to the real world, to things in my life, to things from other fields like history and literature. Those kind of references were important to me. The way I sort of made my way in terms of developing my imagery was through the use of references to human activity, things like architecture, clothing, books, tools, objects that immediately bring in the presence of humans and bring in the presence of human activity, human concerns, human culture. But there's no figures in my work, but there is very much a strong presence of people. Tools interested me primarily as something that references the body, because a tool always suggests the hand. All of the tools I've made have that feeling that you could pick them up and you would do something with them. And that engages another aspect of my work that I'm very interested in, which is the idea of labor. A lot of my work is actually labor intensive and time consuming to make, and it also does talk about the idea of labor, which for me is not really related to that idea of sort of work versus leisure, but a sort of a broader idea of labor as being a process which we engage in almost all the time as human beings. And labor is really about transformation. Labor is about change, about taking one thing and turning it into something else. So cooking is a kind of labor. Art making is, of course, labor. Almost everything that we do in human culture involves something that we could call labor, and a lot of it is about the transformation and the possibility of growth and change.
Although 30 years of work is featured here in Gather, Arrange, Maintain, there is still plenty of work to be made by Jane Byers. We are thrilled to have had some part in the organization of this exhibition and look forward to sharing it with other communities in the years to come. Gather, Arrange, Maintain is on view here at the Kitchener-Waterloo Art Gallery until March 10th, 2013.